All right, let's have an honest conversation. You and me. Have you ever stood in front of a closet packed so tight you could barely shut the door and let out a deep sigh and said, I have absolutely nothing to wear? Have you ever bought something just because it was trending, only to wear it once and then banish it to the back of your closet? If the answer is yes, you are not alone. Trust me, I've been there. I was a follower. I chased the micro trends, always believing that the next new thing would make me happier, more confident. It's a sweet trap, isn't it? An endless hamster wheel of buying, a temporary high, and then the emptiness. And here's the truth the fashion industry doesn't really want you to know. The entire system is designed to run on our insecurity. It's programmed to make you feel like you are always missing something. Always out of date, always one step behind. It profits from our anxiety. When deep down, what we're all really craving is the exact opposite, isn't it? We crave consistency, confidence, a style that doesn't feel like a costume we put on every morning, but like our own skin. So, this video is not going to be another list of things you must buy for 2025 and 2026. No, this is a conversation. We're not just going to talk about what is trending. We are going to go deeper and decode why these things are coming back and how to make them serve you, not the other way around. My goal is to help you make a very important shift, to go from being a trend follower to becoming a style curator, the master of your own wardrobe and your own story. So, over the next few minutes, we are going to look at the biggest trends shaping our world. We're going to hear stories about the real power of clothing. And most importantly, we're going to build a new philosophy together. A philosophy of buying with intention and dressing with joy and confidence. Are you ready? Let's begin. All right. Let's begin our journey of rethinking fashion right now. And our first stop, and arguably the most important one, is the return of timeless values. Are you tired of clothes that go out of style after just a few wears? I know I am. At my age, you learn that true style isn't about having the newest things. It's about cherishing the things that last. And that, my friends, is why our first chapter is called Polished Elegance. This isn't just the return of a classic. It's the rise of a philosophy. And when we talk about polished elegance, we have to talk about one legendary fabric. Tweed. You see, the comeback of tweed in 2025 is not a coincidence. It's a quiet rebellion. It's a powerful statement against the wasteful culture of fast fashion. It's the clearest expression of a philosophy people are calling by a beautiful name, quiet luxury. A recent report from the business of fashion actually backs this up. It says that global consumers are increasingly choosing to invest in high-quality, long-lasting pieces instead of chasing cheap, trendy items. That number has jumped by nearly 40% in just the last 2 years. What does that tell you? It tells me that we're getting smarter. We're looking for what's real. As the great Coco Chanel, the woman who made tweed immortal, once said, fashion fades, only style remains the same. And let me tell you a personal story. I remember it so clearly. It was the late 90s, and I was getting ready for the biggest interview of my career, for my first management position. I was young, and I felt like I had everything to prove. I saved up for what felt like an eternity, and I bought a navy blue tweed jacket, trimmed in white, with a row of gleaming gold buttons. I can still feel the rich, textured weave of that fabric. The moment I put it on, with a simple silk blouse and tailored trousers, I didn't feel like a young girl anymore. That jacket, it was my armor. It gave me posture. It gave me confidence. It gave me a sense of gravity. I walked into that boardroom not to ask for a job, but to claim my seat at the table. And you know what? That jacket is still in my closet today, just as beautiful and elegant as ever. That is the power of a legacy piece. Do you have an item in your closet that tells a similar story? Please share it with me in the comments. So, how do we bring this classic into our modern lives? It's easier than you think. Don't believe that tweed is only for formal events. Let's break the rules a little. Take your tweed jacket and wear it with a simple white t-shirt and your favorite pair of dark wash jeans. The contrast between the elegance of the tweed and the casual, everyday feel of the denim creates an incredibly chic and interesting look. Have you ever tried this combination? And how did it make you feel? Or for a bolder look, pair it with a leather pencil skirt. The soft, warm texture of the tweed against the strong, sleek lines of leather creates a true power statement. And if you want to make a smart investment, choose a beautifully tailored tweed jacket or a classic A-line tweed dress. These are two pieces that will truly never go out of style, and you can wear them for years and years to come. So, if tweed is our elegant armor in the hustle and bustle of the city, a symbol of structured, powerful sophistication, then there's another classic style, just as timeless, that carries the free-spirited, refreshing breeze of the ocean. It doesn't rely on heavy structure, but on the crispness of every single detail. Now, let's set sail together and discover our next chapter, the nautical wave. Welcome back. If tweed brings warmth and structure, nautical style brings a cool, crisp, refreshing breeze. It is the very definition of effortless elegance. But don't get me wrong, this style isn't just for yachts or beach holidays. Not at all. The modern nautical look is a masterclass in polish, in clean lines, and in being intentional with every single detail. It's a beautiful contrast to the chaos of the fashion world. It's clean, it's sharp, and it feels so fresh. Here's a little piece of history for you. The classic Breton striped shirt, the soul of this style, was the official uniform for the French Navy starting in 1858. The story goes that the original design had exactly 21 stripes, one for each of Napoleon's victories. It's a small detail, but it shows you that this style is built on a foundation of history, of discipline, and of a beauty that follows the rules. And let me show you just how flexible those rules can be. I have a non-negotiable rule when I travel. Always pack a high-quality, cotton Breton striped shirt. It is my travel MVP, my most valuable player. I remember one perfect day in Paris. In the morning, I had a visit to a museum. At noon, lunch with an old friend. And in the evening, a surprise invitation to a very romantic dinner. And I had one base outfit. In the morning, I wore my Breton shirt with wide-leg white trousers and a pair of comfortable loafers. Very chic, very easy to walk in. For lunch, I simply draped a navy blazer over my shoulders. Instantly, the entire look felt more polished. And for the evening, I took off the blazer, swapped the loafers for a pair of red pointed toe heels, added a swipe of red lipstick, and a delicate gold chain. With just a few small changes, I was ready for a romantic evening. One shirt, 3 looks. That is the power of a classic. What is your hero piece in your closet? The one item can transform for any situation. So, how do you elevate this style? First, invest in the fabric. A striped sweater woven from cashmere, or a pair of wide-leg trousers in an ivory silk crepe. Luxe materials will instantly upgrade the entire outfit. Second, be refined with your accessories. A small silk scarf with an anchor print tied at the wrist, a pair of gold seashell earrings, or a rich cognac leather belt. And always remember the golden rule. Less is more. Don't overdo it. Choose 1 or 2 points of interest. Where do you prefer your pop of red? On the lips? On your shoes? Or maybe a handbag? Tell me your secret in the comments. The nautical style teaches us the power of a well-chosen uniform, the beauty of rules and clean lines. But have you ever wondered what happens when we take another iconic uniform, like the school uniform, and then we decide to beautifully and intentionally break all the rules? That is where controlled rebellion meets elegance. So let's go ahead and explore our next very fun and spontaneous chapter, the undone preppy. And now, we arrive at a chapter that I find personally fascinating. It's a beautiful dance between the past and the present, between the rules and the freedom to break them. Welcome to the world of the undone preppy. When I was coming up, the preppy look, the style of the Ivy League in the country club, was very strict. Your Oxford shirt had to be perfectly pressed, buttoned all the way up. Your pleated skirt had to have razor-sharp creases, and that cardigan you draped over your shoulders, it had to be just so. It was a uniform of order, of tradition. But the new generation has done something wonderful. They haven't thrown that heritage away. They respect those classic shirts and cardigans, but they wear them on their own terms. They intentionally undo the perfection. Now, this isn't about being sloppy. Not at all. It's about being relaxed. It perfectly reflects the spirit of our time. We no longer want to be trapped in a box of stiff, flawless perfection. We want our style to show our personality. As the legendary designer Miuccia Prada said, what you wear is how you present yourself to the world. I remember one afternoon, I was sitting in a cafe, and I saw this young woman walk in. She was wearing a big, old men's cardigan, looked like it could have been her father's, over a delicate little slip dress, and on her feet, a pair of chunky combat boots. On paper, none of it should have worked together. But as a whole, she looked magnificent, so confident, so artistic, and so completely herself. She took old pieces and told a completely new story. That moment made me smile. It showed me that fashion, when it's done right, is the ultimate tool for self-expression. So, how do you hack the preppy pieces already in your closet? Let's start with that classic blue and white striped shirt. Instead of buttoning it up, leave the top few buttons and the very last button undone. Roll up the sleeves imperfectly, and don't tuck it in all the way. Just do a little half tuck in the front and let the back hang loose. You see, a few small tweaks, and the whole shirt feels more effortless. And what about the cardigan? Don't wear it. Drape it over your shoulders, or find a slightly oversized one and use a leather belt to cinch it at the waist over a dress. It creates a whole new silhouette. What's a classic preppy piece you have in your closet? A shirt, a polo, a pleated skirt? How are you going to try and undo it this week? The undone preppy look teaches us about a quiet rebellion, about turning old rules into your own personal playground. It's subtle, it's smart, and it's full of personality. But what happens when the rebellion isn't so quiet? What happens when it's bold and loud and completely unapologetic? That, my friends, takes us back in time to a decade of pure, unfiltered confidence. Welcome to the 80s. The 80s. A decade that had absolutely no time for subtlety. The hair was big, the music was loud, and the fashion was gloriously unapologetic. I lived through it, and I can tell you, the energy was simply unstoppable. And the fashion was a direct mirror of that energy. Especially for women. This was the decade when we entered the corporate world in record numbers. Just in the United States alone, the number of women in the labor force grew by nearly 12 million during the 1980s. And we needed a wardrobe that spoke to our ambition. And so, power dressing was born. And its very soul, the shoulder pad. You see, the shoulder pad wasn't just a style detail. It was a statement. It was about women daring to take up space, both literally and figuratively. It created a strong, inverted triangle silhouette, a look that could not be ignored. I had my own suit of armor back then. It was this incredible electric blue blazer with the sharpest, most defined shoulders. I can still remember the feeling of slipping it on, the way it settled on my frame. Every time I wore that blazer into a boardroom full of men, I felt taller, stronger. It gave me an invisible confidence, a feeling that my voice had just as much weight as anyone else's in that room. That is the power of clothing. Do you have an 80s fashion memory? Maybe it was yours or your mother's. An outfit that made you feel powerful, or maybe just makes you laugh looking back. I'd love to hear it. So, how do we bring that spirit into 2025 without looking like we just stepped out of a time machine? The key is one word: balance. Stick to the one-statement piece rule. If you're going to wear a blazer with strong shoulders, let it be the star of the show. Pair it with modern, minimalist pieces. A great pair of slim-fit trousers, sleek straight-leg jeans, or even draped over a soft, delicate slip dress. The contrast between the volume up top and a streamlined lower body is what makes it look so chic and current. So what's the verdict on shoulder pads? Are you ready to embrace them again? Or is it a hard, never again for you? I am so curious to know your thoughts. The 80s taught us how to create a strong, symmetrical, almost architectural silhouette. But, fashion always seeks balance. After a period of such sharp, powerful structure, what comes next? It's a softening, a release. It's the beauty that's found when you release perfect symmetry and embrace something intentionally imperfect. So let's explore that art in our next chapter, easy asymmetry. We just left the 80s, a world of powerful lines and perfect symmetry. But now, I want you to take a deep breath with me and just exhale. Because our next chapter is an ode to the beauty of imperfection. Welcome to the art of easy asymmetry. In nature, you rarely find perfect symmetry. One tree branch reaches further than the other. One side of our own face is always slightly different from the other. And that is where true beauty lives. There's a wonderful concept in Japanese philosophy called wabi-sabi. It's the art of finding and appreciating beauty in things that are imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete. And this trend of asymmetry is wabi-sabi in the form of fashion. It's a quiet rebellion against the pressure we all feel to be perfect. I have a dear friend who is a designer. She once told me this story. While working on a collection, her assistant accidentally sliced into a priceless bolt of silk charmeuse, ruining what was meant to be the perfect cut for her dream dress. She was devastated, but instead of throwing it away, she sat with it, looked at the flaw, and a spark of inspiration hit. She used that very imperfection to create a beautiful, spontaneous cascade of fabric down one side. And you know what? That flawed dress became the most beloved, best-selling piece in her entire collection. It's a beautiful lesson that sometimes our mistakes are the beginning of our most unique creations. Are you someone who loves perfect symmetry, or are you drawn to things that are a little bit off in a beautiful way? So, how do you master this art without feeling awkward? The secret is to start small. A top with an asymmetrical neckline, or a sweater that shows just one shoulder. These are very subtle, elegant ways to begin. Once you feel more confident, try a wrap skirt or a dress with a high-low hem. You will be amazed at the effect. Those diagonal lines, they create a visual trick, drawing the eye and elongating your body, making your silhouette look longer and leaner. It's a very clever way to flatter your figure. And I want to ask you something a little more personal. What is one imperfection about yourself that you have learned to love and see as a unique strength? I truly believe our style can be a celebration of those very things. Asymmetry teaches us to find beauty in freedom, freedom from rigid lines and perfect balance. And this very idea of freedom, of a more soulful and artistic way of dressing, leads us perfectly into another style that has been beautifully reborn for the modern woman. It's a style that speaks of travel, of art, and of a free spirit, but with a new, sophisticated polish. Let's talk about the grown-up boho. We've just talked about the freedom from rigid lines. And now, let's talk about the freedom of the spirit. I know, when you hear the word boho, your mind probably goes straight to music festivals like Coachella, to flower crowns, and Fringe for days. And that's a beautiful image, but that was the boho of yesterday. The boho of today, the grown-up boho, well, that's a different story entirely. It's more refined, more intentional, and so much deeper. This is the evolution of a style. It's no longer about wearing a costume. It's about adding soul to your wardrobe. It distills the very best of the bohemian spirit, which is the appreciation for natural materials, for handcrafted details, and for the stories behind our clothes. A recent report showed that the market for artisanal and handmade fashion has grown significantly because we, as consumers, are craving uniqueness and authenticity. We don't want to wear what everyone else has. We want to wear our story. I once worked with a client, a brilliant, successful lawyer. Her closet was a sea of black, gray, and navy power suits. Very powerful, but also very uniform. One day she told me, I feel like I'm wearing a costume for a life that isn't fully mine. The artist inside of me is disappearing. I didn't tell her to get a whole new wardrobe. No, I suggested one very small change. I found her a silk blouse in a soft cream color, and on the cuffs and the collar was the most delicate, handmade lace. It was discreet enough to wear under her blazer, but it was her little secret. And you know what? That one shirt gave her permission to slowly let her true self back in. Next came a soft suede tote bag instead of her stiff leather briefcase. Then a handcrafted silver bracelet. She didn't become sloppy. She became whole. What's a side of your personality that your everyday wardrobe might not be showing? An artist, a traveler, a romantic. The secret to mastering this look is simple. The one boho accent rule. Keep the foundation of your outfit clean and simple. Think tailored trousers, great jeans, or a simple dress. And then add just one piece with that boho spirit. For example, a blouse with delicate embroidery paired with sharp black trousers, or a simple t-shirt and jeans, instantly elevated by a suede bag with a hint of fringe. Or a soft, paisley silk scarf draped over your crisp, tailored blazer. If you were to add just one boho accent to your look tomorrow, what would it be? A piece of jewelry, a bag, or maybe a scarf? I would love to hear your ideas. So, we've talked about styles that reflect our inner world, our appreciation for heritage, our desire for freedom, and our artistic soul. But our clothes also have to work for our outer world. They need to be practical, comfortable, and powerful for the lives we lead today. This brings us to a revolution not just in spirit, but in shape and silhouette. Let's talk about the new power pieces that are redefining everyday elegance and comfort. But today, the definition of power has changed. The new power isn't born from restriction. It's born from comfort and confidence. We no longer need to be uncomfortable to feel strong. Elegance and ease are now walking hand in hand. And the data doesn't lie. A trend report from WGSN showed that in the last 2 years, online searches for wide-leg trousers have skyrocketed by over 150%, while pencil skirts have seen a major decline. That tells you that we, collectively, are making a huge shift. And there are 3 key silhouettes leading this revolution. First, the wide-leg trouser. I remember the first time I put on a pair of perfectly tailored, wide-leg trousers. They were made from a fluid fabric that moved with me when I walked. I felt tall, powerful, but also graceful and free. It was a complete game changer. The secret to getting it right, the length. Make sure the hem just skims the top of your shoe. And choose a fabric with a beautiful drape. Second, the midi dress. It's not a mini, and it's not a maxi. The midi hits that perfect sweet spot, right between your mid-calf and your ankle. It's long enough to be elegant, appropriate for any occasion, but still short enough to show off a great pair of shoes and not get in the way. It is the ultimate wardrobe workhorse. And finally, the tailored short. As we've said, this is the new suit. It shows the confidence of a woman who isn't afraid to break the rules, but does it with incredible style. What is the most comfortable, yet powerful, item in your closet right now? All 3 of these silhouettes have one thing in common. They liberate a woman's body. They allow us to move, to breathe, and to live our lives fully. So, are you team wide-leg trouser, team midi dress, or team tailored short? Which silhouette speaks to you most in this new era of dressing? So, now that we have these new, powerful, foundational silhouettes, the next logical step is to talk about the pieces that complete the look. The intelligent layers we add for warmth, the practical yet chic shoes we walk in every day, and the bags that have to carry our entire lives. It's time to upgrade our everyday essentials. So, we've established our new foundational silhouettes. That's wonderful. But true, lasting style is really decided in the small, everyday choices. The essential pieces we wear on repeat. And this is where the smallest changes make the biggest impact. This chapter is all about the smart swaps. First, let's talk about our sweaters. I used to have a drawer overflowing with chunky, bulky knits. They were warm, yes, but they were also cumbersome and impossible to layer. The smart swap here, replacing them with thin, high-quality, fine-gauge knits. Think merino wool, cashmere, or fine cotton. The secret is layering. 3 thin layers are warmer than 1 thick one, and it gives you control over your temperature all day long. Most importantly, it creates a much sleeker, more streamlined silhouette. Next, let's talk about the very real revolution happening at our feet. The absolute dominance of the elegant flat. I spent a good portion of my life teetering on high heels. We were taught that heels equaled professionalism, that they equaled elegance. But we've gotten wiser, haven't we? For the first time in history, according to retail market reports, sales of elegant flats like loafers and slingbacks have officially overtaken high heels for daily office and workwear. We no longer have to suffer to look sophisticated. A structured leather loafer or a pointed-toe slingback offers the exact same polish, but allows us to walk through our entire day with confidence and ease. Are you a die-hard heels loyalist, or have you fully embraced the freedom of the elegant flat? I'd love to know where you stand on the great shoe debate. And finally, the handbag. Those tiny little micro bags look adorable on social media, but the reality of a modern woman's life? It requires space. We have phones, wallets, keys, laptops, water bottles, and a million other things. The smart swap here is to embrace that reality and make it chic. Invest in an oversized tote bag, but make sure it's structured and made from a quality material like leather. A structured shape will keep it from ever looking sloppy. It's a statement that says you're a busy woman, but you're in complete stylish control. What's a smart swap you've made in your wardrobe recently that's made your life easier? So, we have our new silhouettes. We have upgraded our everyday essentials. Our foundation is strong, elegant, and practical. Now, we arrive at the final, most personal question of all. How do we finish the look? How do we add our own unique signature? This brings us to the ultimate debate in fashion today. Do we go for the bold expression of more is more, or the quiet confidence of less is more? It's time to talk about the two extremes, maximalism versus minimalism. And so, we have arrived at the final chapter of our journey, the final battle, a question that seems to define the entire modern fashion landscape. Are you team maximalist or team minimalist? On one side, we have maximalism. It's joy. It's a loud, happy, vibrant expression of personality. It's the charms hanging from a handbag, the layers of necklaces and bracelets stacked together, the oversized bows, the statement earrings. As its queen, the iconic Iris Apfel famously said, "More is more and less is a bore." It is a passionate celebration of fashion. And on the other side, we have the quiet revolution, minimalism. This, in my opinion, is the most powerful trend of all. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It's the confidence that comes from a perfect cut, from luxurious fabrics, and a clean, neutral palette. It follows the classic mantra of the architect Mies van der Rohe, less is more. Its elegance is found in what has been edited away. So, which side do you have to choose? My answer is neither. It's the wrong question. Let me tell you about my week. On a Monday morning, for a crucial business meeting, I am a pure minimalist. A perfectly tailored beige suit, a single, delicate gold necklace. My confidence comes from the simplicity, from the quality. The message is clear. I am serious, and I am focused. But on a Saturday night, going to an art gallery opening with friends? That's when the maximalist comes out to play. I'll take that very same beige blazer, wear it over a simple silk camisole, and then I'll add my stories. A stack of bracelets I've collected from my travels around the world, a vibrant, colorful silk scarf, a pair of bold, artistic earrings. The message now is, I am creative, I have lived, and I have stories to share. Do you see? These are not two different women. They are two different moods of the same woman. Maximalism and minimalism aren't prisons you have to choose between. They are tools living in your style toolbox. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is a pure minimalist and 10 is a pure maximalist, where do you naturally land? And does that number change depending on the day? What's your favorite maximalist piece that always brings you joy? And what's your go-to minimalist outfit that makes you feel unstoppable? So, from timeless tweed to the bold shoulder pad, from the freedom of asymmetry to the comfort of a wide-leg trouser, from the quiet to the loud, we can see that all of these trends are not commands. They are invitations. They invite us to explore different parts of ourselves. But exploring is one thing, building a home is another. And that brings us to our final, most important lesson. After looking at all the options, how do we finally come home to ourselves and build a style that is truly, unshakably our own? And so, we've come to the end of our journey together. From the return of heritage pieces like tweed, to the freedom of asymmetry and grown-up boho, to the comfortable power of the new silhouettes. Whether maximalist or minimalist, they are all pointing in the same direction. A massive shift away from the question, what do I need to have? And toward the much deeper question, who am I? And if you only remember one thing from our time together today, I hope it's this. The most important lesson isn't in a jacket or a pair of shoes. It's in your mindset. Style is not a thing you own. It is not a noun. Style is something you do. It is a verb. It's how you choose your pieces with intention, how you combine them to tell your personal story, how you care for them with respect, and most importantly, how you wear them with confidence and a smile. So, your homework, should you choose to accept it, is this. Tonight, or this weekend, take a few quiet moments. Open your closet, and instead of asking, what's on trend? I want you to start a new conversation. I want you to ask different questions. Which piece in here truly brings me joy? Which piece tells a beautiful story about my life? Which piece makes me feel like the very best version of myself? Start there. Build your foundation from those answers. And look at trends as the spice rack in your kitchen. A little salt, a little pepper, to enhance the flavor of your dish. But never, ever forget, the main course is always you. Stop chasing fashion. Let fashion learn to follow you, because the most stylish woman in the room is never the one wearing the newest thing. She is the one who wears everything, with the profound confidence of knowing exactly who she is. Thank you for being here with me. The journey to building your style that we took today is a crucial foundation. But it's not the whole picture, because for a truly complete look, your wardrobe and your mindset are not enough. Your hair is the frame for the entire masterpiece. If you are serious about feeling confident, vibrant, and beautiful, then the next video on "You're styling thin hair wrong. Do this instead for healthy aging and to look younger" is the final piece of the puzzle you simply cannot miss. Click the video you see on the screen, and I will see you there.